I'm not dying. I feel the cold, but it's not hurting me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. Like it's
not
cool,
warm in here, but
Even-
it's not hurting me.
It's so cold that like that heater and that heater, like
It's not doing anything.
they took a minute to even kick on.
Doesn't feel like there's heater.
Wow. I
But
hope.
it's way better than being outside.
Oh
definitely.
shit, yeah. Well, I hope that whoever's watching and listening to this is a little warmer than it is here.
I know. It's very cold today.
Yeah.
It was colder yesterday. Good thing it was that yesterday we were just in pajamas.
Yeah.
Couch potatoes.
We should do our intro, babe.
Oh, sorry. I was so into.
Go ahead, take us away.
No, you. Don't do this to me.
I thought I was gonna get you.
over
I
and
thought I was gonna
over
get you
again.
there.
No.
I'm gonna keep doing it. You're gonna do it.
One day eventually.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Love Movement podcast. I'm your host, Steve B, joined with, as always, by my lovely co-host, Betty B.
Hey, baby.
What's up, girl?
I'm cold.
Yeah, we made some warm beverages right before we started this.
You're drinking tea.
I'm drinking
You're
a nice
so
hot
fancy.
tea. I'm telling you though, that thing
You're so fancy.
you got me, the teapot. It puts the tea right around the temperature of the sun. Like it is so hot. And I did a thing.
That was funny.
You're not going to be able to see this if you're listening, but if you're listening, I have a nice like insulated tea, like a coffee cup kind of thing. Excuse me, and it really does its job well.
Yeah, that one is a good one.
Yeah, so I was sitting watching TV with you guys yesterday, and I tried to take a sip of my tea, and it was still so hot. But I guess I moved it at the same time as I went to tip it to drink it, and too much came out. And it got in my mouth, and I don't know why, but I was trying not to spill it, so I just swallowed it.
Took it like a man.
And I swallowed the sun. That's what it felt like. It burned all the way down into my stomach,
Ooh.
like my whole throat, everything.
How do you feel today?
Oh, I was like on the verge of tears. Like, it hurt
I noticed.
so bad.
I noticed when I looked at you.
Yeah.
You were like, it's burning.
I don't think anything has ever hurt my throat that much before.
Really?
It was bad.
Oof.
But I've had to keep drinking tea because I've had this frog in my throat for like a week now.
I know.
You know, what are you going to do?
I just love my coffee. But I'm going to start into tea. I'm going to text our friend Allison to get some good recommendations.
Allison loves tea. Shout out to Allison.
She knows tea. So that's why I want to reach out to her so she can give me some ideas.
When I'm running low on this, can I say I have low tea?
That wouldn't be good.
No.
Should I be concerned?
I thought I'm like, for sure I have to have something. Like, it's got to be low. But I went and got tested, and they said, no, you're fine.
But it's not that. The main, I will say the main, how do you say this? Symptom is, what was it that every doctor asks you? Like,
Erectile
do you
dysfunction.
have erections? Are you working properly? Because that's the number one thing, apparently, when you have low T, that's the first thing you start noticing. And I told you, I don't think you have the problem unless I'm not knowing something.
They ask you if you're a little soft in the pants.
Yep.
No, it hasn't been an issue.
Isn't it weird? It was, okay, when we went to do our annual checkup this year.
Well, we didn't. It wasn't like an annual checkup. It was like a 5-year checkup where we just got a huge battery of tests done all at once.
But I told you that we have to be better at that. So this year I'm going to schedule our annual thing all over again. So anyways, I told you that we needed to go because it's been forever. So we went, and the funny thing is that they take us in at the same time.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So they're asking all these questions to you, and I'm there, and I don't know if and he said, didn't you want to check your
they check
situation?
you for a hernia.
And he said,
pull your pants down, pull your shit out, and cough.
And I'm there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just put my head down because I didn't know if you were comfortable with me looking at you getting
Well, I didn't have much of a choice, did I?
A man doctor.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Those, I felt like you were uncomfortable.
How could you not be?
But that was the first time that happens to me, that we both go in at the same time, right?
Since I'm a kid, I've never had another human being in the the examination room with me.
And they're asking all these personal questions. But I guess they figured this is a married couple.
Yeah.
There's no secrets here.
They're not individuals anymore.
Exactly.
They don't matter.
They're just
They have
one.
no sense of self.
That was so funny. And I looked at you and you were so ashamed, like embarrassed, like what was happening to me. And I was just sitting in the corner. I'm not going to lie, I was laughing inside.
I know you were.
I
give you credit. I didn't hear any laughter, so that was good.
I behaved.
Yeah.
I was showing my support. I was just, let me not look at him.
So, as we were saying before we start talking about another man touching my stuff.
That was very funny. Oh, my God. Yeah. That was very funny.
Yeah, I tried to forget about that. Thanks for bringing it up. Appreciate it.
You have to get your exam.
Yeah, it's unfortunately.
I'm going to go with you, too.
It's part of becoming an old man.
I'm going to go with you, too. I'm going to be there to show support.
So you could show support by staying in the waiting room.
But they let me go in.
Okay, well they let a lot of things happen. Doesn't mean you should do it.
Why?
We could let we
Isn't
could let Tyler
me?
start drinking beer. That doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Isn't it better if I'm there to show you support?
I don't need that kind of
and
support.
hold your hand.
What do you think is happening? I don't know how fragile you think my ego is. That's gonna be like traumatic.
Exactly.
For me.
So that's why I could be in there.
No, I'm saying I don't know how fragile you think my ego is. That I can't deal with something like that.
I think you can deal with something like
Thank
that.
you.
That's why I'll be there.
I've dealt with worse.
Really? What?
Well,
Can you talk?
I guess
you can talk to us.
I'm not talking about physically worse. You know what I mean? I mean like
you got me worried
emotionally
there.
worse.
Should I talk to your mom?
About what?
I don't know. Something.
What
you
are
said
you
something,
trying to imply
Something
here?
happened worse to you, and I'm concerned.
Yeah, I've dealt with things that made me feel worse than having, a doctor stick
finger
their
up
finger up your ass.
Really? Wow. Okay, that should be another episode.
Jesus Christ. That's all you see. You're such a part of that whole machista culture.
I grew up in that
Yeah.
culture. So I'm doing a lot of self-work to be better and to not raise my kid like that. I'm only joking, but I've come a long way.
But you know what though, that's definitely something I talked about on the old podcast. Is that whole like people say toxic masculinity, that whole kind of stuff. Women are just as complicit in the perpetuation of that culture as men are.
We don't know any better.
Yeah.
And if we are being raised like that in that culture, remember we're wired. The moment we are born, all this starts processing, and it has an effect in our lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the stuff that little boys see, girls see as well.
Exactly. So it's hard to see things differently.
Yeah.
You really have to be self-aware, and you really want to know more or try to do better, or I don't know, question, is this the right thing? Are we doing the right thing? How does this make me feel or make my partner feel? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that I didn't know and I was not aware until you mentioned how it made you feel. And I said, okay, wait a minute. I have boys, so I need to do better. I need to educate myself a little better. You know what I mean? So I think I'm trying to see things differently.
I definitely think. Do me a favor, pull this a little bit away. That's good right there.
Okay.
You sound better already.
Oh, my commander husband. He wants to control my life. Oh, my commander husband. He wants to control my life.
Do you think it's less masculine for men to not perform oral sex on a woman?
Oh, my God. Of course not. That we watched that in the show.
So, well, okay. So, getting into Chismecito, I just, Betty's been living in New Jersey since the very end of 2017. So let's just say 2018. Yeah,
because it was December 26th.
Yeah, so you got like a solid 4 full years of living in New Jersey, and now you're finally watching The Sopranos.
So proud.
I
love all the mafia
Stata
stuff.
bon.
I love all
the mafia. There's no such thing as the mafia.
I know. What are you talking about?
It's called La Cosa Nostra.
I know.
This thing of ours.
I know what La Cosa Nostra is.
I know.
La Cosa
they
Nuestra.
don't not necessarily.
La Cosa Nuestra. La Cosa Nostra. There was a show in Miami, local, that it was called La Cosa Nostra. Okay, anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I love all the movies with all this type of theme and the show. I knew I was going to like it, but I never got into it. I never had HBO, I think. That's maybe the main
That's
thing.
true. Well, you watched Sex and the City.
But that was when it was happening.
But that was around the same time.
Really?
Yeah. Because like when Sopranos...
Oh, no. You know what happened? I didn't watch Sex and the City on HBO. I got the DVDs from one of my best friends.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
But so the Sopranos came out at like, I believe it was 99. Like the Twin Towers were still up
I
when
know.
it came out.
So
and it was
sad.
actually, like they made the pilot almost a year and a half before the show ever got picked up. So the pilot is filmed over a year before the rest of the first season.
That's crazy.
So if you actually like pay attention, you can see like the kids already look like a whole year older by the time the season really starts.
That's crazy.
But what do you think? Like,
It's a good show. I love it.
So as far as like stereotypes of Italians from the
Oh my
Northeast,
God. To me, that was mind blowing. When I saw that it looks bad on you if you go down on your woman, that was crazy.
Oh, that-
like, what?
Uncle
Why?
Junior.
What's happening? I didn't even thought that was a thing. Like, what's wrong with that?
You know what
Why
that
would
reminds
that
me of?
make and the explanation he gave.
Yeah, they
Like,
say, oh, they think if you
you
suck
suck
pussy, you'll
everything.
suck anything.
What is that? That has nothing
Do you know
to
what that
do.
reminds me of for real?
What?
Abaqua.
Yeah, but that's a religious thing. They have an entirely meaning for that and the blood and the this and the that. So it's not just because they will suck anything.
Could you explain Abaqua briefly?
I don't know much about the subject, but it's Santeria thing. And if
This
you
is,
are,
in Cuba.
and if you become an Abaqua, you're not supposed, you cannot do it. You're forbidden for going down on your partner. That's it. Never, ever. Not once. Never. So you have to think about it twice if you're going to marry one of them.
There's some guys like, oh,
And
great.
it's a guy
It's
thing.
the best excuse ever.
A woman cannot be an Abaqua.
But, so yeah,
So I think that's a very big disadvantage. Because I cannot tell you, like, I cannot go down on you because of my religion.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't work. I cannot give you head. Sorry. That's messed up.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, luckily we're not very religious people here in this house. But like with the show, because I watched it a little, like I didn't watch it religiously, no pun intended, when it was on TV. But I remember watching it, and I remember like being like, okay, like this is a interesting show. But I was never like all about it because I was young too. Like I was still in, I think I was
99?
just starting I was just starting high school when it came out.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You were not into it?
I like it was cool. Like it was a big cultural thing, especially in New Jersey.
When was it that you watched the show?
I watched it. It would come on Sunday nights on HBO, and sometimes I would catch an episode. If I caught it, great. If I didn't, oh well. You know what I mean? It was one of those
so
things.
you're actually now watching it.
Yeah. So there's still stuff that I
Oh.
never picked up when I first saw
Of
it.
course.
Like I knew the general story, but I didn't pay attention. And plus, I was a kid too.
There's a lot. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of things in the show that are left unspoken.
Yes.
That you need to know the culture or you need to... There's things that I have to ask you, like, why? You know what I mean? Because it's a cultural thing.
What things stayed out in your mind?
Now I don't remember. But I know that during the show, I ask you why he's acting like that or why he reacted to that like that. You know what I mean?
I remember
and it's an Italian thing.
you even made a comment about the face they make. I love the face. Like when something happens. Obviously, if you're listening, you can't see it. But if you're watching,
That expression.
Yeah,
I love that expression.
that's a very Italian thing.
Yeah.
Spend an hour with my
Because
dad,
people,
you'll see it.
whatever people think of Italian is the same thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's so much to it. There's this. There's so many
Well, like
things.
Italian people by nature are dramatic in the sense where, things like it's very highs and lows. You know what I mean?
And we can relate
we
to
love
that.
you or we hate you.
But Cubans can totally relate
Yeah.
to that. I've always told you that we are very much alike. Italians and Cubans, they're loud. They're all about family. They have this big gatherings.
Yeah, everybody.
Where everybody's talking at the same time. Everybody's shouting, and that's a happy house.
But you know what's funny? Italians are loud and quiet, because like we're loud, we're all together, everybody, hey, how you doing? But when we're talking to you, listen, I'll tell you something. Come here, and this is between you and me.
That's true.
These other students don't have to know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's very private. So there's private, and then there's for everyone.
Yeah.
And there's a hard line between the two.
Yeah.
So that's
with us, just like this is family. There are no secrets.
Yeah, no.
So everybody's talking about their shit across the table, and everybody knows everybody's shit.
Yeah. We have a couple different families.
Yep.
But it's I don't know. I definitely have a different appreciation for the show because a lot of people. I mean, I feel like in any conversation, it's in the running for one of the best shows of all time. For me,
it was very famous. I didn't.
It's like I said, it was a cultural event.
Didn't know the show. Like I didn't see any faces, but I know the name. I knew the name, and I never watched it. You know what I mean? So that tells you a lot.
Yeah, like for me personally, because I never took it as serious as some people did, and because I was young, but I always put The Wire as my number one. But like watching, it's like, okay, you can't have the conversation without those two duking it out, you know.
Then by the end, then we'll make a decision.
But
you know another thing, when I see Carmela, Tony's wife, I see a lot of your mom.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm hoping does not listen, but there's a lot of things that I can see your mom.
Mannerisms, the way how
she carries herself sometimes.
You think you're gonna be hanging out with Hunter Scangarello? You got another thing coming, young lady.
I don't know that part because I was not at your house.
No, that's Meadow, the daughter, her friend.
I know.
The troublesome girl. Her name is Hunter Scangarello, which is the ugliest name ever.
I know. I thought that was a guy's name.
Hunter. I had never met a girl named Hunter, but Scangarello, like Jesus Christ. Hey, Mr. Cusimano next door.
Those things that I saw your mom, and I was like, ooh, that reminds me of your mom.
And what about when Richie Aprile first showed up in season 2?
That's your dad right there.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God, it's so weird because I'm looking at him and it feels so familiar. It feels like, oh, what is happening to me?
So in season 2 of the show, they introduce a character, and the actor looks exactly like my dad.
I don't know.
Which I've talked about before.
The crazy thing is that I don't know if I'm supposed to like this guy.
No.
And I like him because it looks like your dad. This is so upsetting and conflicting because I just look at him and I smile.
This guy's meant to be an evil asshole.
I know. This cannot be happening. It's so weird. It is weird.
It's funny.
Because they look alike.
But people literally came up to him thinking he was the actor, thinking he was David Proval.
And he will play along.
Oh,
That's
I
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, like, you the guy with the coffee pot from The Sopranos. Yeah, it's me. Just like that. It's almost like a more subtle version of that face. I said, yeah.
You want a picture? We can take pictures.
But so yeah, Sopranos. Like this is important. You know what's cool too? Now that I'm older and I've been around more of New Jersey, like I see places that they're shooting, like filming, and I'm like, oh, I know that place. I literally worked. Like there's a skyscraper right now where they had the car parked. Like I know that area perfectly. Like it's cool down to see
and when
landmarks.
you told me that he died,
oh, James
Tony,
Gandolfini,
that broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like it really broke my heart. Okay, I have a question.
Go, shoot.
I saw a picture that is your mom, your dad with the cast of The Sopranos. Can you explain how that happened?
No.
Where were they? What happened?
All I know about it is that there was some event related to the show, and it was going down at one of the casinos out, like Foxwoods or one of those places. And it was literally like a cast event. They had the whole cast there. And it was something to do involved with the state of New Jersey. And all I know is somehow they knew somebody, and them and a few of their friends were able to go to this whole thing, and they got like their picture taken with most of the cast of the show.
But it's not like one-on-one selfies type thing. No. It's everybody in a group picture. Like they were all friends, all cast members, and they're there. Boom,
and you can't
the
tell
two of them. Who's not?
Yeah, who's a cast member and who's real.
Well, he can just blend right in.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I just do not know the full details after all these years. Because that picture's existed for a while now.
I don't understand how you don't ask for details. I have so many questions.
You know what it is? I'll ask a question and I'll get an answer that's not totally clear. And I'm like,
keep
okay. And then I'll like
going
walk
for
away.
more.
And then like an hour later, I'm like, what the fuck were they talking about? That doesn't, what? And then it's like.
The thing with me is that I have 1,000 questions right there lined up.
Yeah.
This. Marve always tells me, like, I don't ask as many questions as you. So this is all I have.
Yes.
Stop.
That's true. I don't think anybody asks as many questions as you, except maybe Tyler.
I like to investigate.
You do.
You
would be a great detective.
I should have been a good detective.
People feel guilty right away when you start asking questions. That's what happens.
I still don't understand why.
It's the way you ask, because you ask as if like you don't believe what we're telling you. You know what I mean? Like
That's your guilty mind.
No, because even if Tyler says the same thing.
But he's guilty all the time.
Okay, well that's not untrue. But no, you have a thing where you ask a question, but then you ask a follow-up right away as if like that wasn't a good enough answer. So now I need to dig deeper. You know? And I'm like, whoa, this is what I know. And really? Like that's all you know? How could that be?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Let me explain why. And my explanation and my whys are good, are on point.
And
so it makes you question what's happening here.
It literally gets to the point where I'm like, did I fuck up somewhere? Like,
I think I messed
oh
up.
Lord, I done stole a car. You know, but that's a real thing.
That's funny.
So anyway, moving on. I'm not even lying. My feet are cold right now.
My hands are frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things
What does
they were talking already like a day or two ago. They declared a state of emergency in a bunch of the southeastern states, like not necessarily Florida, but I know around like Mississippi, Missouri. Like,
what does that mean when they say emergency?
A state of emergency means everybody's supposed to be on high alert for. In this case, it's a weather-related event.
But does mean like stay in your house type thing?
Stay in your house if you
Don't go
can.
out?
Stay off the roads if possible. Things like that. If you are going to travel, go with extra caution. But the thing is,
there's been
there's a lot of those here.
There's like thousands of flights canceled.
Well, that is a lot.
I was looking at the news when I was doing my nails today. They had the news playing, and it said like there were thousands of flights canceled because of all these things going on.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things going on.
No, they were talking about the weather. Just the weather.
Not. All right.
No.
But what I was going to say is that in southern states, like, you could get like an inch, maybe 2 inches of snow, like, and it happens so rarely.
And they cancel everything.
Oh, everything shuts down.
Even supermarkets. Whatever.
Supermarkets?
Even supermarkets.
It's a media snowstorm.
Stop it. I'm going to quit. Don't bully me. And they close everything.
Yeah.
We have to still drive, go to work, show up. They have classes and everything.
Yeah, we need a lot more up here because
How much does it take for school to cancel?
It used to be 4 inches.
Okay.
4 inches and they'll cancel school.
So you guys, when you were kids, you were praying for a lot of snow, right?
Okay, so let's talk about this. When I was a kid, before the internet, like we didn't have you just go online and look. We would have to like watch the news or listen to the radio.
But that's exciting. When they mentioned your school, that it's closed. Like, that's how they did it in Miami for hurricanes. When I was in school, that's how they did it. It was super fun to watch. Like, are they going to name our school? How are they going to name it?
Yeah, we would have to like watch like NJ12 or like we're freaking like watching the NFL draft or something.
Just wait.
Like, come on. Are they gonna say Bridgewater?
I know. Are we gonna get ready or not? I'm getting late.
Yeah. So that was that's how it was. But I don't know. I think people took a lot more chances back then, especially back in like the late 80s, early 90s. Everybody's so afraid of everything now. They don't.
Wow. In Miami, in order to close a school for a hurricane, it has to be like hitting your door within 5 minutes. If not, they don't close it.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to of all the threats and not happening. You know what I mean? That they don't.
Plus, your hurricanes down there are still worse than the ones up here typically.
But it takes a lot for them to close everything.
Yeah. They don't like closing stuff down there.
No.
I just think it's funny because here they put the salt down, they have the trucks, people are still out there on the roads. Like down there, get a little snow and there's like, major 34-core pileup on 995.
But you know what I think is that since it doesn't happen often, they're not ready.
Yeah, 100%.
And they don't. You remember what happened in Houston? That was last year.
Oh, that was Texas.
It was in Houston? I think it was Houston.
It was around a big part of Texas.
Bueno. The thing is that those houses were not ready for
They're
that.
not built for that.
Exactly.
All the
And
pipes
it
explode
destroyed
and shit.
houses.
Yeah.
They got flooded. It was a lot of things going on
Mm-hmm.
because they're not prepared for that.
Well, they really shot themselves in the foot too, because their electrical grid, when they build it, like there's the option to winterize it, so it's
they didn't.
ready for cold weather. But since it's so rare down there, they figured, oh, we could save some money. Like, no, we're not going to do it. We'll take our chances.
But
And they got
things
hit
have
with a
changed.
once in 100 years ice storm.
It was crazy.
Yeah. But if you go somewhere like up north, like where
Mm-hmm.
like by Niagara Falls, like around Buffalo in that area, it gets to the point where they don't even salt the street. They just throw sand down and they'll just drive over it because there's just too much to try to melt.
Yep.
Because they get a thing called lake effect snow because they're close to the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that the snow clouds or whatever comes over, they can get like multiple
I
feet
know.
of snow
Marvin was living in Syracuse and
on,
it was
like,
crazy.
on a regular basis.
Yeah. That's why she moved down to Florida.
Yeah, I would move
She
too.
was
Shit.
running for her life.
Imagine going from Cuba to Buffalo or Syracuse rather.
But the snow was up to her door.
Yeah.
I think she fell one time and broke her arm and everything.
Really?
It was crazy. The thing is, I'm still not used to driving in the snow. So when it snows, I'm scared. I'm scared
Yeah.
to drive because I'm worried that it might be black ice. I don't see it.
Even if you're used to
I'm
it, you
so
still should
worried
be scared.
about that slippery sensation. What if I lose control? You know, even though my job is really close, I really get scared.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that worries me.
I
Driving.
hear you.
Driving. Have you ever had any crazy experience
Oh, I've
driving?
crashed in the snow.
You have?
Yeah.
The expressway?
On the highway. Luckily, there was no one else on the road.
I saw a video. TikTok's
Mm-hmm.
things. There's a truck standing. I think traffic stopping, but there's ice.
Oh, and there's so
Okay.
much
And
heavy snow
there's
you can't see.
a guy recording because there's a car coming full speed.
Yeah, they can't
cannot
stop.
brake, so he bumps into the car in front. Then the other car's behind him, and and it was just like
One after
10
another.
cars crashed, like
Yeah.
piling up
I remember that because
until one could stop.
the visibility is so low because the snow is so
White.
thick that you can't see how
So
close
white.
they are. Yeah.
I know.
Damn whiteness.
I know. It blinds you.
Yeah. Well, that's also a thing, snow blindness.
I know. It's so uncomfortable.
All right. On a happier note, just kidding. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet announced they're getting a divorce.
Excuse me. And you said on a happier note?
was joking.
That is so sad. Don't play
Much
with
to
that.
much to the
She's
to the
older
joy
than
of-
him.
Yeah, she is. But I say
Like
much
how
to the
old?
joy of women everywhere. They hear that. They're like, oh, I have a chance.
Yeah. Oh my God. They posted something about it. We let each other go to become the better self or become the self we want to know.
They said something about
something crazy.
They want to plant their own individual roots or grow their own roots, like their own values. And she said that like a month ago in an interview. And
That's
it was
crazy.
kind of like, what do you mean by that?
So
What are you
all the
talking about?"
comments I see on Instagram is like, yeah, come, let me show you how to become my husband. I'll teach you how to blah, 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 blah. People are going crazy
Well,
and
I
happy.
mean,
They're happy.
listen, Khal Drogo's a hot commodity these days. They've been together since before he got big, you know?
How
Well, not
old?
like, I mean big, I mean like popular.
What's
'cause
the
he was a big
difference in
dude.
age there?
I'm
Do
not
you know?
100% sure.
She seems older nowadays.
Well, do you know her daughter, Zoe Kravitz, is another famous
she's
actress.
beautiful.
Because back in...
But
in-
I think she goes better with Jason. Not that I want them to be a couple, but more,
so,
I would say more in the age thing. I don't know.
So back,
think she
Lisa
looks-
Bonet, she married Lenny Kravitz back in like 1987. And then they were married until like 93.
Oh.
But then I don't know what happened after that, but they said around like 2005 is when her and Jason Momoa started dating. So they were together for 12 years before they even got married. They had like a secret ceremony in 2017.
They've
And
been
you were-
in total. It was like 17 years.
Yeah, so you were talking about something regarding
That's
like
what I think.
people that are together for a long time before they ever get engaged or get married.
That's my crazy theory.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be real. Okay,
okay.
it's
It's just
just
a
what I
theory.
think. I don't know from
It's just
from
feelings, not facts, okay?
exactly from friends, not friends, colleagues. I've noticed that they my personal opinion is if you get engaged, you should get married within a year after you got engaged or 2 years tops. That's what I always thought in my head. That was the ideal thing. I know you have to take in consideration all the expenses, all the wedding, blah, blah, blah. And I don't, you know that we had a small wedding and something very, very budget friendly. You know what I mean? Anyways, the point is that I think you should get married within that time frame. When you spend all these years in a relationship or all these years engaged and you get married, usually it ends up at the shortest marriage ever. Like people last 2 years, 3 years, and sometimes they do it because the relationship is already having issues, and somehow they think, okay, let's do a fresh start. Let's try this and to spice it up. Let's try to. I don't know.
I have a thought about that. Maybe it's a thing where it's like you're with somebody for so long. The longer you're together without being married or engaged, it almost becomes like this. It blows it up out of proportion. So mentally, it's like it becomes a bigger thing. And it's like when in reality, like you're with somebody that long, like you're essentially already married. You're doing the same things.
You are married.
But it becomes like a scary thing in your head.
Yep.
And a lot of times, if they wait so long and they finally get married and they think, oh, well, now this changed everything. It's like, no, it didn't change anything. Your mind made it out to be...
Play a trick on you.
Yeah. Like you were already living the married life. You just didn't have the ring. Like,
I had a colleague that this was 2006, 7. He was with his girlfriend for 8 years.
Okay.
And she was always telling him, like, giving him hint. I won the ring. Hello, what are you waiting for? This has been 8 years of relationship. It's the normal thing, I would think. He was dreading that. But he did it. He got the ring. He proposed. And then he didn't want to get married. They ended up getting married. You know what I mean? And he was counting the days to see how he will get out of that. And it's all mental. He loved her. They were fine for 8 years. Nothing changed but that idea of getting married. Now, this is serious. I cannot leave this. This is like a contract for life. And I'm stuck. And I feel prisoner. And I think it plays a trick on, and I would say it's more a guy thing.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of pressure on guys when it comes to marriage stuff. Because, I mean, you, as a guy, you're expected to be the one to initiate all that. Like, it's not often you see girls proposing to guys.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it's rare, you know? So for guys, it's a lot of pressure. You got to find the right ring. You got to make sure you can afford it. And as a guy, you're also thinking like, well, I want to be able to provide for my potential wife. And if you don't have your shit together, then it's even more pressure because now not only is there pressure for you to pop the question and to quote unquote make an honest woman out of her, but now it's more pressure to get your life together and get to a place where you have some kind of security. And it's not.
But let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you think of, okay, I really like this person and I think I could live my entire life with this person because I love her. But am I ready for this? What are you thinking? I'm the provider. So I need to be ready in what sense? Like I need to be able to cover all the bills, mine and hers. I need to be able to pay rent and pay everything, all the bills without having to ask her for anything. What goes through your mind? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean,
why is the pressure of I need to provide?
I'm sure there's a very wide spectrum of what guys think about in those situations. I know for a fact that there's guys that want to pay for everything. Like you don't work, you take care of the house, you raise the kids,
and our kids.
I'll take care of all the bills. But they want that life, that old school, like traditional.
Yeah. I think it's tougher on guys like that.
It's very hard,
especially nowadays.
And you know what? A lot of the time, those are the guys you see that are very dry, very cold. Like I don't hold the baby. Like you do that. You're the mom. Like that's your job. You know what I mean? Like because there's a part of your, I want to say soul, kind of that you almost have to shut off just to keep your head down and keep your nose to the grindstone and just keep pushing to afford all that. I mean, unless you're somebody who's lucky enough to have like a really high paying job, but for the average person, that's a lot. And that it kind of deadens you a little bit. It hardens you, You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're a blue collar guy like myself, like those kind of professions, like it takes a piece of you. You're not just selling your time. You're selling part of who you are. Yeah. And this is something that, like, I know me and other guys that I work with, like, we've talked about this. Like, it really does. It's not just, you're here 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and that's that. Like, it takes a piece of you. And I think that's a lot of times that's why guys have to harden themselves, because otherwise you'll never survive. You'll never make it through.
What do you mean?
It's just like certain types of work. It's harder on you, especially when it comes like
mentally
and physically.
Okay. Why mentally? Because you're not liking what you're doing?
No, I think a lot of it too is that it's tough, and your natural reaction would be to complain about something. It's like, this hurts. I don't feel like getting up, 5 a.m. every day. Yeah. But as a man, like, no one's gonna respect you if you're just bitching and complaining all the time. So you suck it up. You keep yourself together. You make yourself nice and stoic. You show up, you do your job, and people are like, all right, he's a solid guy. But inside, like, you're hurting. You're hurting.
This is shitty shit.
Yeah. Maybe you're somebody who's unhappy with, maybe you didn't want to be a plumber. Maybe you wanted to be
something
you wanted
else.
to be a musician. You wanted to go play the trumpet in a jazz band or something like that. I don't know.
And you got stuck here.
Yeah. And to think about that every day, like that eats you alive.
Yep.
But I got way off topic on that. I think there's some guys they can't wait to get married. Like they want a partner, and especially more in the modern sense where it's more 50-50.
But I think that should be something that is on the table. Where we're going to make decisions, we need to talk about this thing. What do you expect with me? What do you expect from me? What do you want? What should we do? And plan it together. Because if I think, let's say you propose to me, but in your head you're saying, okay, we're going to do everything half and half. But in my head I said, what? I won the lottery. Now you provide for me and I don't have to do anything. What's mine is mine, and what's yours, we share it. You know what I mean? That's going to set us back. This is going to destroy the relationship because we're not on the same page.
And that happens.
And I've noticed, that's what I was going to say. I've noticed that there's a lot of people that hold that and they don't speak about it. And then they jump into this marriage thing and they're struggling because they're on completely different pages. And why are you going to keep it inside? This is your partner. You should be open about it. You should talk about these things. And there's a lot of guys that don't do it, that just stay quiet, and maybe they complain to the friends, but they will never sit the partner and tell them, listen, I need you to help me because we're struggling. And if you help me, we're both better.
Well, I hate to break to you.
And that creates resentment.
Baby, we've talked about this with each other, like you and me, and I ain't no unicorn. I'm not the only one. Like, there's guys that they're afraid that if they vocalize any form of something that could be interpreted as weakness, that their partner's going to lose respect for them. Whether or not that's true at all, that's a real thing.
What do you mean? You think asking for help to pay the bills is a weakness?
Even me knowing fully well that it's not a sign of weakness, there's still the feeling there.
Because whether you want to admit it or not, when you were growing up, you thought that men are supposed to provide.
But that's not the kind of house I was raised in, though. My mom worked.
So where did you get that from?
I
Because
don't know.
You feel that way.
Yeah.
I know you feel that way.
I think it's more just a thing about having to ask for help, not necessarily that it might be for something like bills or something around the house.
No, because I've noticed that when we talk about these things, or when you see something on TV and things like that, you tell me, like, see, how am I going to feel bad when things like this show up? Like when you see a man taking care of everything. Or girls expressing that, no, you need to cover everything for me. You need to pay this. It triggers you. It makes you feel some type of way. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought that in the back of your head, you're thinking, I need to provide 100%, and I should not ask for any help, period. So I'm not sure if you feel that way or not. Because sometimes you tell me no, like she's so inconsiderate, and there are times that you say, you see, like, I don't know, you give me mixed messages. So that's why
Because I get mixed messages.
you don't. This is conflicting to you.
Yeah, like so. Because the problem is, you can't just say, "Oh, well, women want this," because people are different. You know what I mean? So there's a wide range of opinions and ideas. So some people would be like, "No, I want the man needs to pay for everything," and there's other people like, "I don't need a man to pay for everything. Like I'm a human being and I have agency and I can take care of myself. So I want a partner, not a parent." You know?
Correct.
So you can't. It all depends on who you're with. But the problem is, I think sometimes when you hear certain ideas that you may not agree with get elevated, and like you hear girls like, "Oh yeah, that's right," you know, so you tell them like.
And I think also it's a cultural thing. I think up here people are more independent. With my culture, and I'm not even talking
really
about
hot.
only
Sorry.
Cubans, Colombians, Dominicans. They are more of the man has to provide everything. And you hear the girl saying, I'm not giving you anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing. I don't believe in 50-50. I'm not your roommate. I've heard that so many times.
Brazen like that. Doesn't that set you off?
And they're very vocal about
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like,
bitch.
this is what is expected. This is what you have. You pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, what?
But it's hearing people like.
And I hear it so much.
Specifically,
You have no
women
idea.
talk like that. That it's like, no wonder
They're
why
very
guys
open
don't want to
about
get married. Like, look at the way you're acting. Seriously,
You want
that's
a
the deal.
slave?
You want me to just work and
No.
you don't do shit?
You don't do shit? No. They take care of the house.
Yeah, but it's cheaper
That's
to get a maid.
No. Oh, Lord. It's 24/7 working in the house. You cannot talk like that because then you're going to get a lot of heat. You need to
Well, I
really
can
appreciate.
handle a little heat.
You need to really appreciate what we do in the house.
Oh, wait.
There's a lot of work
Hang
in
on,
the
I
house.
can't talk to that because I'm going to get a little heat, but they can go around. I'm not doing that. What's mine is mine, and you were.
No.
Fuck you.
But wait. But what I mean is
But
that
no, I mean this very
bring-
seriously. Fuck you.
Are you getting very triggered by
I
this?
am. I'm hot now.
What
I don't
mean,
need this damn heater now. There's going to be steam coming off my
What
head.
I mean is that what they're bringing to the table is, I'm your spouse. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of the house. Whatever I need for myself, I will cover. But you pay everything else. You pay mortgage. You pay everything else. I take care of myself. And you don't have to cover anything. Of course, I'm going to give you gifts. And you don't have to pay for your own gifts. You know what I mean? But your duty is the bills and the house. Mine is to work here 24/7. I will clean, I will do this, blah, 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 blah. So it's not that they're not doing anything. They're doing stuff.
I guess for me personally, because I've been very independent for a long time, that the sound of that, like, I'll take care of you. I don't need you to take care of me. You don't even, I take care of myself better than you can. You know what I mean?
My God.
And I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Baby, I'm going to cry.
But I'm not talking
don't
to
take
you.
care of you.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to
I'm
these
asking,
loudmouth
don't I take care of you?
Yes, you do take care of me.
Okay.
But we're not arguing about it. We're having a conversation about other people. This is chismecito, baby.
No, I know. I was just kidding.
So, I mean, we have time for the main topic still, which is kind of in relation to what we've been talking about.
I like that.
So, the question that I found was, is divorce ever an option for you? Why or why not?
Ooh.
And this is a heavy one because especially nowadays, divorces are not uncommon.
Okay.
What do you think?
It's
Is
such
divorce-
a difficult thing to say.
Choose your words carefully.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you.
I'm listening.
Yeah, listen.
I'm focused right now.
I think when you decide to get married, it's a commitment. And commitment, we have said it 1,000 times, it needs work. You need to dedicate yourself every single day and give your 100% every single day. If we both are doing that and putting out our 100 every day and working on this commitment and trying to make it work, I don't think divorce will ever be in the picture. I think divorce have to be considered if there's abuse, verbal, psychological, physical. You need to. There's no way you can stay in a relationship like that. When there's infidelity, if you're being unfaithful, yes, divorce is in the picture. But other than that, I think we have to work on this. If we don't put in the work, it's easy to just say goodbye.
Yeah.
Divorce, and you go your way and I go my way. But if you're invested, really invested in this, are you really going to throw it away? Is it not worth it? What have you been doing all this time? Why are you even here? Why did you get married if you're not willing to stay committed? So to me, if it's not, again, if you're being unfaithful, goodbye. If there's disrespect, goodbye. Other than that, we can work through everything. We can make it work because we love each other. But if we remind ourselves every day that we love each other and we work on this, I don't think that will ever even cross our mind. You know?
Yeah.
But you have to go into marriage thinking that divorce is not an option.
That's true.
Usually, you know who you're marrying, unless it's a very crazy psychopath that he was perfect while you guys were dating.
Dirty John.
And then you got married and he started beating you. Then, but if you're getting married, divorce shouldn't be an option. Shouldn't even exist in your head. You know what I mean? If not, why is the point?
I can't say that I disagree with anything you said. I think you made a lot of good, rational points. I like it all. I mean, divorce shouldn't...
I come from a family that my mom and my dad have been married forever.
Yeah.
It's like, 40 years?
And I come from a divorced family.
Yeah.
So, but I think you're 100% right. I think, what's the point of getting married if you're going to use that as an option? Like, of course, there's certain situations where, like you said, abuse, infidelity, those kind of things that are deal breakers.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're done. This can't go on like this. But
I know people that they go with this mentality. Let's get married. If it doesn't work, divorce.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. We're not
You
talking
should
about
be a
planning
little
a
more.
vacation.
You should be a little more sure of what you're
Definitely.
doing.
It's so common. Like, it's so easy. And I think you nailed it too, where, you have to go into this knowing like this is going to take work. And I don't think people understand what that means when people say work, because it's hard. It's tired.
Is hard, yeah.
There's times where you just want to you want to throw your hands in the air. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. You're just emotionally drained. Sometimes, you get in like a bad fight, it lasts for like a week or something like that. Like, there's nothing. It's hard.
You feel like, oh, stop it. Goodbye.
Like, why are we doing this? Why are we torturing ourselves?
Exactly.
But that's the thing, is when it gets to those bad times, then comes the work. And if you get into the relationship, into the marriage, fully understanding, like, okay, this is what they mean by work, then there's not much you can't fix. As long as you guys keep your eye on what's important. That's what we always do. If we start getting into an argument or a fight, it's like, okay, are we trying to solve the issue to better the marriage, or are we just trying to score some points? And I think that's where people get fouled up. I want to be right. It's like, well, are you going to be right? You could be right and then just be miserable alone for the rest of your life. And then good luck. I hope that being right keeps you warm at night.
It's hard to be self-aware of things that could create resentment. Because when that's there and you're building up that resentment, the love is out the door.
Yeah.
It starts leaving little by little, and then you're just left with resentment.
And it's hard to get it back, too.
You don't come back from that. I honestly believe that you don't come back from that.
There's like a point of no return.
You need to fix it right there.
Yeah.
Because the moment you're just, even if it's just a little thing, but you have it in there, hiding in there, that starts growing with time. Instead of going away, it starts growing.
Yeah. But also, too, it needs to be both people. Because there's plenty of times when was one person who's doing everything in their power to try to make it work, and the other person just they don't want to meet him halfway.
That's what I'm saying. The commitment has to be 100% from each. If not, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I want to be married. I want to stay married. But if you don't want to, it's not going to work.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I guess we literally saw completely eye to eye on that one.
I
so
like it.
There's not a lot more to mine out of that topic. What do you say? Since it's cold, we'll keep this one a little brief.
Yes.
Why don't you dame la luz?
Dame la
baby?
luz, of course. I'm sure I'm totally late on this, but I want to recommend The Sopranos for any of you that haven't watched it. It's really, really good. It's one of those shows that you can binge watch and time goes by. Yesterday we started in the morning. It was 5 p.m. and I started cleaning at that time because we were watching episodes back to back. And I was interested. Like, no, keep playing. No, keep playing. I want to know what's happening. And it's really good. It's really good.
All right, so my Dame la Luz is related to yours since you talked
Really?
about Sopranos. There's a YouTube show. It's Sam Roberts and Ian Finance.
I like him.
It's called Sopranos Prima Volta.
What does that mean?
It means first watch.
Oh.
So the whole thing is the one
Prima
guy,
volta. Primera
Sam Roberts,
vuelta,
is
no?
a huge, like, hardcore Sopranos fan, and the other guy, Ian Finance, has never seen it. So he's watching it for the first time, and then they're talking about it. Like, they'll do 3-episode chunks. So each episode of their show, they're talking about, all right, this is season 2, episodes 1 through 3, and they're discussing it, and you're getting his real-time reactions.
That's
So it's
nice.
it's cool, and they're both they're pretty smart about it too.
Do you
Like, they
like
make
it?
a lot of good points. Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm starting to really like that guy Ian Finance. We've actually seen
I
him
like
live
him.
twice now.
I like him. I think he's a natural.
We've seen him live twice on accident.
I know.
So
should-
he opened for Dave Attell at the Stress Factory, and he hosted the show we saw
We
at
should
the
watch
Comedy
it
Cellar.
on purpose.
Which, shout out to Comedy Cellar. He got me. We went there for my birthday, and Chris Rock drops in randomly.
That was awesome.
That's
Everybody
pretty
was
Yeah,
going
did
crazy.
an hour over an hour set.
I know.
But
And
yes.
he was hitting on your sister. by the
Well,
way.
we're not going to get into that. That's between her and him.
I know. You imagine a wedding? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, people. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so that's all we got for today. You got anything else you want to add,
Nope,
baby?
that's
Anything
all,
else
folks.
you want to bring to the attention of our wonderful audience?
Nope. That's all I have.
Okay.
I love you, baby.
I love you more, beautiful. We'll see you guys next week. Stay warm. Peace.